Hey everybody, this is Module 9 discussion video. Jumping right into it, and we're asked to do 2 out of the first 3 questions and then answer number 4. So I went with number 1, discuss the key components of propositions regarding employee abusive organizations or EAOs. What are they? Why are they important? How do they help us better understand abusive issues in an organization? How can you apply this to your own professional history? So on page 388 through 390, it goes over 7 propositions of EAOs. Basically, EAOs is the atmosphere or not paradigm, just basically the atmosphere of an organization and how abusive it is towards the members within it. That don't conform to the norm of the organization or the operations of that organization. You see it a lot, actually, and unfortunately, in the military side of things. If you don't really go with the flow of things can be quite difficult for a lot of members within it. So, because I don't know. It's like it's almost tribalistic in a lot of senses, and what I mean by that is like you're either with them or you're not with them type of attitude, and it can create quite a bit of an atmosphere that unfortunately causes a lot of stress and it causes a lot of dissociation with a lot of members not wanting to be part of that, and because they feel like as if they're not part of that. They don't want to do anything with it, and it causes a lot of moral distress, I guess you could say. So anyways, proposition 1 is basically talking about the EAOs are likely to develop employee antagonistic discourse is evident in 2 or more message flows, or when leadership itself enacts or condones abusive and hostile discourse. Again, military used to, and it's still a topic to be talked about. Hazing was a big thing, and people being bullied for a lot of things, and now, especially now with social media, you have you post something that really a lot of people don't agree with. You can get a group of people kind of ostracizing somebody just because they have a difference of an opinion or belief that doesn't really go with the overall message of an organization. So, and it goes down through several other ones, but basically stemming from people still making that a norm within an organization, and everybody that goes against it is basically the enemy. Anyways, number 3, according to the text, what is the relationship between organizational justice and retaliatory behavior? Organizational justice, from what I gathered on the book, was talking about. Sorry, I'm trying to find a page. I just lost it. It's talking about employees being the idea that processes and decision makings involved in resolving disputes and allocating resources is fair. So basically, he's talking about fairness, organizational justice across the board, being fair to every single person, versus the retaliatory one. Adverse reactions of disgruntled employees in a response to perceived injury or wrongdoing to organization and members by another organization member. So I actually had a little bit of an experience with this quite recently, back in December, when I sent off a bunch of my guys overseas for a deployment, and changes were made last minute. And they ended up showing up and leaving before the holidays, when in reality the dates changed to after the holidays. And we didn't know about this. I didn't know about this until the last possible second. So I couldn't turn them around to come back home to spend the day with the family. So because of that, they took it out on me, and rightfully so, because I wasn't, I guess, um, I guess I didn't tell them in quick enough, so I was the first guy in the line of sight that they were like, nope, this is your fault, so on and so forth. But in reality, and again, I'm not trying to deviate um, the blame here, but it was, I guess it was a perfect storm in a sense, because I take accountability for that too. But anyways, they felt like it was the organization's fault, and everything after that was organizational fault, my fault. So they took out that on us and started saying and talking about bad things about the organization as a whole. So that's number 3. Number 4, identify what you believe to be the most important topic in chapter 13 that it was not addressed. And that one, I came to the conclusion of extreme careerism. In the military, it's definitely a thing, because everybody's trying to make rank as quick as possible, and they all think that they're deserving of such. So anything that goes up against that idea that they deserve it, that they're saints, then they started falling into a lot of these negative. They started hitting a lot of these things, talking about extreme careerism and negative impression management tactics, where they start blaming people outside of themselves for why things are going wrong and why they can't get into some of these positions or higher rank. Taking credit for someone else's work, we see that a lot with officers and higher enlisted. They ask a lot of members to do a lot of things, junior enlisted, and they end up getting the credit for it. And a lot of people get very upset, and rightfully so, about these people taking their work and taking the credit for it when they really didn't have anything to do with the process of getting to that point. Discrediting. I've seen a lot of people try to discredit others left and right to make themselves look better than that person that they're talking about, who potentially is in their way of getting to that next rank, whatever the case may be. Intimidation. I was part of the fitness program for a while, and fitness is a yearly requirement for a lot of military members, especially in the Air Force. So higher ranking people, they're trying to stick out the last 2 years of their until they get to retirement, or they're trying to get promoted. Intimidation comes into play because a lot of people would fail their waist measurement, and they would try to say, well, I'm an E8, or I'm Colonel so-and-so, I'm a Commander so-and-so, you got to give me that 2 inches so I can pass this and get the next rank. I'm like, no, that sorry, you're not really going upholding, the core values of the Air Force, integrity first. You're trying to twist my arm to give you what you want, while I'm being held to that standard that I need to pass this PT test throughout the year. Negative projection goes on to that one, and then there's a lot of other topics about extreme careerism, and I think that was one of the things that, unfortunately, because our society, and it's kind of the norm where people just want more and more and more, and they will do anything in their power to get to where they need to at the cost of the troops, or at the cost of their co-workers, or the cost of whatever you want to put in that, fill in the blank, basically, to get what they want, to get more money, to get more materialistic type of stuff. So yeah, I think it's a huge problem with a lot of organizations, especially in an organization as the military. It becomes very political at a lot of points. I'm not a fan of politics within the ranks. I'm here to do a job, and if I can do the job, I will tell you I can do the job, but if I can't, I will tell you the same thing as to why I can't. If you take that personal, that's your own problem. I'm sorry. It's just the way I operate. I'm not gonna do things to put my career in the line or put anybody else's career in line. I'm definitely here to help my guys out to get to where they need to be at the right way, and that's just my conviction, and I stand by it. I'm here to protect my guys at all costs. There's a lot of deviation from that mentality of where you take care of them and they take care of you. It gets to a point sometimes, especially when the book talks about it, about everyone fending for themselves. Everybody has to be constantly looking over their shoulder to figure out who's going to be coming after them, and that's pretty sad in this day and age to get to this point. So yeah, I'm a little bit of the anomaly that made it to where I'm at, but all on the premise of doing better than before. I'm never on this toxic trait of people trying to get into well, I suffered through this, so everybody has to suffer through it. No, the point is so those people below you get further than you've done through your own experiences. And that's something that I even do with my kids too. So anyways, I'm done blabbing about that piece. So yeah, that's my module 9 video discussion. I'll talk to you guys later.